Let me guess something. You're cracking out sketches, dumping hours in portfolio slides, and crickets. No interview pings, no wall emails, just thanks but no thanks. Sound familiar? Giving up isn't on the table, but neither is grinding blind. So, how do you swap those polite rejections for a heck yes, let's talk? Stick with me for the next few minutes and I'll expose the sneak mistakes tanking your flow and lay out this exact map to turn your work into a story director's binge watch to the end. Hello, I'm Leandro Trovato, car designer, portfolio mentor, and the guy who helps young talents shift from stalled to hired. Ready? Let's go. Relatable pain and common mistakes. Before we bolt on fence frameworks, we've got to diagnose the leaks that keep your portfolio stalling on the first lap. In the next few minutes, I'm dropping you to the reviewer's seat so you can feel the frustration they do. Jumbled projects, info overloads, zero emotional throttle. Ready to cringe at a few yep that's moments? Deep breath, let's hit the pain points. Mistake number one, the shuffle playlist. Imagine you open Spotify, hit shuffle, and get death metal, lo-fi beats, and samba back to back. Fun for party, awful for a story. Your portfolio does the same when sci-fi hypercar sits next to a retro scooter and then a kid-friendly SUV. Recruiters need 3 seconds to wonder, what does this designer actually want? End result, they bounce. Mistake number two, the info dump Titanic. Determined to understand you, they swipe forward and slam into a wall of thumbnails, arrows, and microscopic text. You've survived the design iceberg, but now you're sinking your reviewers with every sketch you ever scribbled. It's like force feeding a 40-piece combo meal in one bite. Their brain short circuits, and whatever curiosity they had fizzles out before they've even reached the good stuff. Mistake number three, all engine noise, zero emotion. All right, you show the what, but never the why. No user insight, no pain point, no moment of triumph. Think of Mad Max without the desert stakes. It's just loud cars. Slides read like spec sheets, dimensions, horsepower, but zero contests. And the reviewers ask, so who's this for? Or what problem does this solve? Consequently, your work feels like a nice poster, not a solution. Listen, solutions stick, posters don't. Mistake number four, the style whiplash. One project screams neon cyberpunk, the next is minimal Scandinavian. Then you toss in a Disney cute EV. Diversity is cool until your brand identity flatlines. The recruiter can't tell if they're stealing your portfolio or if they accidentally open someone else's file. You hear, we love your versatility, but we're searching for a voice. A quick reality check. Studios hire for a lane first. Range comes later. Mistake number five, the scroll bar marathon. Finally, there's the 120 meg monster of a file with 80 slides that takes longer to load than dial up. Directors skim the first 20 pages, maybe 30 if you're lucky, then bail. Your proudest project lives down at slide 6, but no one ever sees it. So, if any of this feels uncomfortably familiar, you're in good company. 90% of junior portfolios I review fall into at least 3 of these traps. The bright side, once you spot the leaks, you can patch them fast. Stick around because in the next chapter, we'll rebuild your flow with a simple framework that turns portfolio chaos into a binge-worth narrative. Plotline and pace. Recruiters skin a portfolio in seconds, not minutes. Some LinkedIn surveys put the first impression window at roughly 10 to 30 seconds. If your slides don't hook them and flow smoothly, they're gone. The secret to holding their gaze is classic storytelling. Lead with a clear problem, show how you solve it, and close with impact. Designers who frame each project this way become far more memorable than those who just dump screenshots. But story alone isn't enough. Your pages also need rhythm, alternating big hero visuals with tighter sketch grids and keeping fonts, colors, and annotation consistent guides the eye and prevents overload. Exactly what good visual hierarchy and design rhythm are meant to do. In the next few minutes, we'll build that twin engine, plotline for story and pace for flow, so your portfolio stops feeling like a shuffled playlist and starts playing like a greatest hits album. Think of your portfolio as a short film with two golden rules. Rule number one, plotline, the narrative arc that glues eyes to the screen. Start every project as if you were unfurling a short, binge-worthy episode. It opens with a single arresting cover image, your movie poster, where one glance at the title and visual tone telegraphs the entire vibe. Before the viewer can even wonder why they should care, you glide into a crisp briefing slide that spells out the user, the pain point, and the goal in plain language, letting them feel the stakes without drowning in jargon. With that context locked, you ease them into your mood board, a curated compilation of images that tunes the emotional appeal to match who the user is, how they live, and how they have fun, setting a lived-in atmosphere before any sketches appear. Rather than lumping every reference together, you shift next to a dedicated inspiration board. Here, the audience sees the concrete sparks behind your form language. An elegant bridge span, a razor-sharp katana, a vintage speedboat hull, each reference anchoring the abstract mood in tangible reality. That momentum carries straight into your ideation phase, where quick-fire sketches and loose doodles march left to right, letting reviewers watch your thought process in real time. They're witnessing the raw riffs, the discarded ideas, the silhouettes that survive, proof you can think broadly before you hone in. Once the thrill of concept settles, you pause for breath and distills the chaos into a slide of key themes. This is your moment of clarity. You call out the defining principles, floating volumes, compact looks, proportions, or katana lines, so the viewer's brain can grab onto the logic behind every subsequent choice. Finally, you bring the payoff. The full bleed final design unfurls in cinematic renders, a shot rotation view, perhaps a contextual beauty shot, and you cap it all with one metric or user quote that proves the solution hits the brief. From first glance to last click, each slide nudges the viewer naturally into the next, turning what could have been a shuffled playlist into a seamless, memorable narrative they will replay long after they close the tab. Rule number two, pace. Visual rhythm that lets their eyes breathe. With the 7-scene arc locked in, pacing becomes the throttle that carries the viewer smoothly from one moment to the next without ever jolting them out of the story. Right after the cover's big splash and the brisk one-page briefing, you ease into the quieter, more intimate mood board spread. Give those images room to breathe, thankful bleed, or generous mergings, so the recruiter can absorb who the user is, how they live, and how they play before any hard decisions appears. When you pivot to the inspiration board, tighten the layout, smaller, neatly boxed the reference arranged in a left to right flow. This subtle shift signals that we're moving from feeling to thinking and keeps their eyes tracking naturally across the page instead of wandering. As the sketches burst onto the ideation slide, punch the pace back up with the dynamic grid of thumbnail silhouettes, then immediately downshift to a clean, wide open key themes page. That deliberate brief lets the viewer brain file away the guiding principles you've distilled from the chaos. The final design deserves another cinematic surge, Return to a hero render that fills the frame, followed by a concise spec or user impact notes tucked neatly into one corner. Throughout every swap between high-energy visuals and contemplative poses, keep your typography, annotation arrows, and accent colors absolutely consistent. The viewer should never have to relearn your interface. They should simply glide, almost subconsciously, from cover to payoff. Dial these two roles in, plot line for story, days for flow, and your portfolio stops feeling like a shuffled playlist and starts playing like a greatest hits album. In the recap, I'll give you a screenshot ready checklist, but for now, lock in the idea. Hook then, problem solve, evolve, reveal, impact, all delivered with the heartbeat rhythm they can't ignore. So, just to recap, recruiters flip through portfolios at warp speed. Many admit they form a yes or no impression in as little as 15 to 30 seconds, and almost always within the first 3 minutes. Portfolios that hold their gaze share two trails. They tell a clear, outcome first story, and they impose a visual hierarchy that guides attention instead of overloading it. Your portfolio now lives and breathes like a mini-series, not a shuffled playlist. Start with a cinematic cover, frame the challenge in plain language, and let the mood board steep the viewer in how your user thinks, lives, and has fun. Tighten focus with an inspiration spread full of concrete forms, unleash quick-fire ideation sketches to show range, then pause for a key theme slide that names the principles guiding every line you draw. Land the punch with the full bleed final design, and one crisp metric or quote proving you hit the brief. Keep the rhythm steady, big visual, tight grid, deep breath, hero shot, and never break consistent in fonts or annotation style. When every slide either advances the story or lets the eye rest, recruiters read to the end instead of bailing at page 10. So, to conclude, take one project tonight and run it through the 7 scene arc: cover, briefing, mood, inspiration, ideation, key themes, final design. Trim every slide that doesn't move the stories forward. Keep your pacing tight and your visuals consistent. Then share the refreshed portfolio with a peer or mentor and watch their reaction. If they glide from first frame to last without a single, "Wait, what is this?" you're on the right track. Now, if you're serious about taking your portfolio to the next level and want my guidance, click on the card above to watch the video with the detailed information about my one-on-one mentoring program. We talk about your goals, your design style, and how to make your portfolio truly stand out. And if you're not part of the squad yet, hit the subscribe button, smash notifications, and drop like to join the fan. Ready to turn curiosity into callbacks? Put the steps into action now and let your work do the talking. I'll see you in the next video. Ciao!